Science proves your brain is addicted to winning. It's the final seconds of the game. Your heart is pounding, your muscles are tense. The entire season comes down to this single moment. And then, a score, an eruption of pure joy. That feeling of invincibility as you high-five strangers and scream at the top of your lungs. What if I told you that feeling isn't just an emotion? What if it's a powerful chemical event happening deep inside your brain? We now have brain scans that show us exactly what's going on, and they reveal that your brain is wired to chase that winning high, again and again. Have you ever tried to explain your passion for a sports team to someone who just doesn't get it? Have you ever found yourself screaming at a TV, feeling a gut-wrenching low after a loss, or pure euphoria after a win, and wondered, why? Why does this matter so much? It can seem totally irrational. It's just a game, right? Well, science is beginning to show us that it's anything but. This profound connection you feel isn't a flaw. It's a feature of your brain's core design. The intense passion of a sports fan gives us a perfect window into the human brain's reward system and our deep-seated need to belong. Today we're going to look at the science of winning. We'll explore the brain scans that show what's happening in your head during a game, get to know the chemicals that make victory feel so good, and understand why a rivalry can push our brains to their absolute limit. This isn't just about sports, it's about the fundamental wiring of the human mind. The chemical kick of victory. So, what is actually happening in your brain the instant your team scores? The answer lies in an ancient network known as the reward system, and at the heart of that system is a famous neurochemical, dopamine. For a long time, people called dopamine the pleasure molecule, but that's not quite the full story. Many neuroscientists now think of it as the motivation molecule. Dopamine is less about the feeling of pleasure itself and more about the anticipation and the drive to get the reward. It's the chemical that says, pay attention, this is important, do this again. When you get a surprise notification on your phone, that little spark of interest is tied to a small release of dopamine. Now, imagine that feeling on a much bigger scale. Brain imaging techniques like fMRI allow scientists to see which parts of the brain become active during certain tasks. When researchers have shown sports fans clips of their favorite team scoring, they see a surge of activity in key areas of the reward pathway. This includes a region called the ventral striatum, a major hub for reward processing. When your team succeeds, this pathway lights up. This system doesn't just feel good, it teaches your brain what to value. Each victory reinforces the behavior of being a fan. The dopamine release signals that watching your team is worth your time and energy, creating a powerful feedback loop. Now, is your brain addicted to winning in the same clinical sense as a substance? No, but it is creating a powerful motivational drive, a compulsion to experience that rewarding feeling again. It's a system designed to make you pursue things that matter, and for a fan, few things feel more important than a win. The tribal brain and the need to belong. But that dopamine hit isn't just a personal party inside your skull. It's also tied to another core human driver, our need to belong to a group. We are social creatures. For thousands of years, our survival depended on forming cohesive tribes, knowing who was us and who was them. Evolutionary thinkers have proposed that modern sports act as a kind of substitute for this ancient tribal conflict. The stadium becomes the modern battleground, and the players our warriors. While this is an influential interpretation, the neuroscience of fandom definitely supports the idea that our brains treat our favorite team like our tribe. Studies show that when your team wins, it's not just the reward circuits that activate. Brain regions associated with self-identity, like the medial prefrontal cortex, also show activity. The team's victory can start to feel like your victory. This is related to a phenomenon known as identity fusion, where the group becomes a part of who you are. This deep connection might be strengthened by what are known as mirror neurons. These are brain cells that fire not only when we do something, but also when we watch someone else do it. So, when you see a player score a goal, your mirror neuron system may subtly simulate that action in your own brain. While scientists are still exploring the direct link, these neurons may help create a sense of empathy and connection with the players. In a way, You aren't just watching the game. You're neurally a part of it. If you've ever felt that deep personal connection to a team, let us know who it is in the comments below. We'd love to see where everyone's loyalty lies. And if you're finding this fascinating, consider subscribing for more journeys into how your brain works. The rivalry effect. Why victory is sweeter against them. Not all wins feel the same, do they? A routine victory feels good. But a last-minute hard-fought win against your most hated rival, that's euphoria. It's a completely different level of intensity, and neuroscience shows us why. A rivalry dramatically changes how your brain responds. Remember that reward activation in the ventral striatum? Some studies have shown that this activation can be significantly amplified when the victory is against a rival. Your brain appears to treat a win against a chief competitor as a much more meaningful event. The tribal, us versus them dynamic is kicked into overdrive. Defeating a rival isn't just about the score, it's about asserting your group's dominance. This effect is so powerful that it can even extend to enjoying a rival's failures. There's a German word for it, Schadenfreude, the pleasure you get from someone else's misfortune. Neuroscientists have seen this in sports fans. In some fMRI studies, the reward centers in a fan's brain activated not only when their own team scored, but also when they watched their rival fail against a totally neutral opponent. This suggests our brains are always keeping a kind of social scorecard. The reward system is tuned to group competition. It's not just about our success, it's also about the failure of our competitors. This wiring makes rivalry the ultimate amplifier for the experience of being a fan. It makes the highs higher, and as we'll see, the lows feel so much lower. Inibast. The agony of defeat, when it all goes wrong. For every amazing victory, there's the crushing agony of defeat. If winning triggers a powerful reward response, what happens when we lose? The experience of a loss, especially to a rival, can feel like a genuine threat, and your brain and body react accordingly. Hormonally, the stakes of a game can show up physically. Studies have measured cortisol, the body's main stress hormone, in fans. They often find that cortisol levels can rise during a close game, reflecting the tension and uncertainty. Research has also looked at testosterone, a hormone linked to dominance. And while results are often mixed and depend on many factors, some studies have noted fluctuations in fans that mirror the players themselves. A win can feel like a status boost, while a loss can feel like a hit to our standing. In the brain, a tough loss presents a real challenge to our emotional regulation. The emotional centers of the brain can overwhelm the logical control centers in the prefrontal cortex. This is why an otherwise calm person can suddenly become aggressive or irrational. When you're feeling that overwhelming sense of despair after a bad call or a missed shot, you are experiencing a moment where raw emotion is flooding your brain's control systems. This helps explain why a loss can make us feel out of control, irrational, and completely devastated. The same system that provides the incredible high of a win is also wired to deliver a punishing low, reinforcing the stakes and making sure you're invested for the next game. It's bigger than sports. This entire neural setup, the reward-seeking, the tribal identity, the intense rivalry, it wasn't designed for football or basketball. It was designed for survival, but the blueprint is so fundamental that it shows up everywhere in the modern world. Think about the fierce loyalty you see in politics, the way people identify with a party, celebrate its wins, and feel real anger at the opposition. It taps into the same in-group and out-group wiring that neuroscientists are exploring in political polarization. Think about brand loyalty, that feeling of being an Apple person or a PC person, and defending your choice as if it's part of your identity. Each of these is a different expression of the same human need to be part of a we. Sports fandom is perhaps the purest example of this. For the most part, it's a relatively safe and communal space where we can engage these ancient, powerful circuits. Though fandom can have its downsides, for many it's a healthy expression of what it means to be a social human being. The passion you feel for your team isn't silly or trivial. It's a sign that your brain's social hardware is working just as it should. From the chemical surge that makes victory so sweet, to the ancient tribal wiring that binds us to our team, the science is becoming clear. The brain of a sports fan isn't disengaged. It's firing on all cylinders, running a complex program of reward, identity, and social connection that is fundamental to being human. The brain scan suggests that we are exquisitely wired for the thrill of victory and the community of the tribe. The powerful feelings that come with being a fan are not an accident. They are a feature of our evolutionary design. So, the next time you're on your feet, heart pounding as the game comes down to the wire, you'll know. It's not just a game. It's your brain doing exactly what it was designed to do. Find a tribe, fight for it, and savor the win.